Good afternoon. Be honest, when was the last time you attended a program that started early or earlier than scheduled, right? Everyone's in place, so we're ready to go, which is great. Thank you so much for being punctual and for your enthusiasm in joining us for a great event. We're here for the launch of the EU-Ghana Pact for Skills and Integrated Action on Green Jobs and the Skills Project associated with that. So we're very excited because this signifies an important milestone in our shared journey towards empowering Ghana's youth in several sectors. So we're looking forward to seeing what we can accomplish in the areas of green energy, in pharmaceuticals, and in digital transformation. There's a lot of talk about that lately, isn't there? So welcome once again, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kokui Selome, and I'll be your MC for the duration of the program. Thank you for having me. If you're unfamiliar with the space, if you do need to use the washroom at any time, there are ushers who can help you go there, but there is one on this floor. There's also a small setup for coffee if you need a bit of a pick-me-up as we are halfway through the day. And we'll just be meeting right here. All the action will take place in this room. Our program is a pretty simple one. We'll be hearing from some stakeholders of the project, and we'd like to acknowledge the European Union, of course, for being major funders of this project, the International Labour Organization for their implementation, and the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations for being the ministry here in Ghana that is the main partner on the government side for rolling out this project. Thanks as well to ABB Groma Cultural Troupe, who ushered us in with a nice display. We'll be seeing more of them later. And without further ado, I'll call on Dr. Paula to get us started with her welcome remarks as we kick off the program. Please welcome her with a round of applause.
Thank you so much, Program Director, and good afternoon. Some of us have been here since 9 in the morning. And, we had a little bit of lunch, so I had to make sure I don't eat up too much so that I don't sleep in this afternoon session. So it's a pleasure to welcome colleagues that have joined us. Let me take this opportunity once again to recognize the representative of the Minister of Employment, Labour Relations and Pensions. I see there are colleagues as well from the ministry. You are welcome. And as well as the representatives from the European Union. You are welcome, colleagues. We also have our dear social partners in the room. These are members of the Ghana TUC as well as the Ghana Employers Association, and they've been here with us since morning. Thank you so much for your continued presence. I also want to recognize members of the private sector, the professional bodies that are here this afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, representatives of the Swiss Corporation, the media. It's an honor once again to welcome you to the launch of the EU-Ghana Skills Pact in terms of integrated action on green jobs and skills project. Today, we gather here this afternoon because we have a shared vision. And I hope in this vision, we are going to work together to contribute to empowering Ghana's workforce and economy for a future that is not only resilient and inclusive, but one that is sustainably or environmentally sustainable. It is evident that the impacts of climate change are becoming increasingly severe, with more frequent droughts and floods. Therefore, the need to transition to cleaner, more sustainable technologies is now beyond question. Yet, even the most innovative and efficient solution will have limited impact without a skilled workforce ready to implement all the innovative solutions and interventions. Over the past 2 decades, Ghana has achieved remarkable economic growth. However, youth unemployment remains one of the greatest challenges, with nearly 33% with whom women are disproportionately affected by job insecurity. And this, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, underscores the urgent need for sustainable employment opportunities, especially in the green and the digital sectors that have proven to really create several opportunities for women and young persons to drive the economy of tomorrow. The journey to green sustainable economy present immense opportunities to create new, not just any jobs, but new decent jobs while addressing the urgent global environmental challenges. Ghana has demonstrated a strong leadership in this area through its nationally determined contributions. This is under the Paris Agreement. And it has done so by prioritizing climate resilience, sustainable energy, and environmental protection. And this is Ghana's NDCs also represent a commitment to a sustainable future that works for everybody and, most importantly, that leaves no one behind. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, this project we are launching today is deeply aligned to Ghana's climate change ambitions, and together we are building pathways that will empower the workforce with skills to thrive in an economy rooted in sustainability. And these efforts by the government of Ghana are reinforced within the National Green Job Strategy that was developed with the support of the International Labour Organization in 2021, and it's being currently implemented. At the global level, the efforts are well aligned to the contribution of Ghana's attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals, especially the goal that speaks to quality education, which is SDG 4, SDG 5 on gender, as well as SDG 8 on decent and economic growth, and 13 on climate change, amongst others. As the International Labour Organization, our mandate is very clear and is to ensure that all people can access decent work. And this project reflects our commitment to decent work by promoting and working alongside the European Union, the Ghanaian government, industry leaders, workers' organization, and every other critical stakeholder as we contribute to building an economy that provides fair, dignified, and sustainable employment in emerging green and digital sectors. As the ILO, we are committed to ensuring that this transition to a green and digital economy contributes to decent work, social equity, and inclusive growth. We are proud to bring our expertise in skills development, in green jobs, as well as decent work to this collaboration. And we have also partnered with several institutions that are also coordinating and consolidating, as well as complementing the skills that we are bringing to the table. Ladies and gentlemen, by promoting policy coherence that aligns skills development with environmental sustainability, will ensure that Ghana trains and develop its programs in order to support environmental sustainability and climate change. Building capacities of national and sectoral stakeholders will also ensure that the skills programs are strategically and are fully responsive to the green and the digital jobs which are demanded in the labor market. And we have several other interventions that will also complement the interventions in this area, particularly as far as skills development is concerned. Ladies and gentlemen, by advancing green jobs and fostering skills development, we are building a future, as I said, that aligns with Ghana National Climate Change Agenda. As we launch this project today, let us remember that our shared goal is a sustainable and inclusive future that aligns with Ghana's climate change agenda, and this project stands as a testament to our commitment to that vision. But it also, success will rely on us, all of us as partners, putting all our efforts together, journeying side by side, learning together, and sharing our insights and knowledge and competencies as we collectively design, create, and implement solutions for the betterment of Ghana. In conclusion, I take this opportunity to thank the EU for the financial contribution that has actually made this intervention very possible. And I do look forward, and I can commit the ILO's a mandate in this area to support in attaining the overall objective of this project. We had the first meeting of the Project Steering Committee, and it also created an opportunity for members that will be in the forefront of implementing this project to get a much better understanding of what it is that we are trying to achieve and what is expected in terms of our contribution to that attainment. And to the other partners that will be journeying with us on this EU Skills Pact, GIZ and UNCDF, we commit to working together because we have to avoid, by all means, duplication. Because as we know, we are working within very limited resources, and it therefore means that our intervention must be coordinated in such a way that the impact, especially to the beneficiaries that we have identified, is much more impactful and, most importantly, meaningful. So we will be working with our partners, including the government of Ghana and many others that will be joining with us. And to all of them, I say thank you for your continued collaboration. Together, we are contributing to a brighter, more sustainable future for Ghana, where climate resilience, where decent work, social equity, and all the elements of the Sustainable Development Goals will thrive together as one. Let us work together to realize this vision, as well as create a legacy that will support generations to come. And as I always say, the implementation and the success of this project is very, very important, because it will also inspire future interventions that will build on the momentum that we have already galvanized, but also that would allow us to bring even more partners and more stakeholders on board, as I said, to amplify the impact that we want to achieve on the ground. So, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to the launch of the EU-Ghana Skills Pact project. I thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pala. And for those who are joining us virtually, we are streaming on the Limehouse YouTube channel. So if you're watching us online, welcome to you as well. Thank you for joining us for the launch of the EU-Ghana Pact for Skills. Also, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, permit me at this juncture to acknowledge some notable distinguished personalities who have joined us this afternoon, starting with the Chief Director for the Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations, Mr. Kizito Balance. Again, he's been with us throughout the day. Thank you. You've already heard her speak, but I'll acknowledge her again, Dr. Vanessa Pala, the Country Director for the ILO, also in charge of Nigeria, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and the liaison for ECOWAS. So, once again, Dr. Pala, thank you. Mr. Joshua Ansah, Secretary General of the TUC, also here. Joseph Amwa is Director of Industrial Relations with the Ghana Employers Association. He's also here. Ms. Gloria Botele Noy is Director at the Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations. Thank you for being here with us. Dr. Lloyd Chabalango is a Chief Technical Advisor with the ILO. Yes, a round of applause for him. Mr. Gideon Mankralo is National Project Coordinator at the ILO. He's sitting there in the back. Mr. Timothy Dolan, Head of Macroeconomic and Trade Section with the EU. If you can just give us a quick, well, we'll be hearing from him. Mr. Anders Jurfelt is Program Officer at the EU. He's here, right in front. And again, all of you are welcome, even if we don't mention your name individually. We appreciate your presence here. We really do. All right. And now to hear from the EU, and Mr. Timothy Dolan will give us his remarks on behalf of the EU.
Chief Director of the Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations, Mr. Kizito Balance, Country Director of the International Labour Organization, Dr. Vanessa Pala, esteemed government representatives, distinguished representatives of the Ghana Enterprise Agency, the Trade Unions Congress, sector skills bodies representatives, training providers, Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and youth groups, all protocols observed. Let me tell you a few words about the EU's commitment to technical vocational education and training in Ghana. But before that, let me tell you that I'm very honored to be here to officiate the launch of the EU-Ghana Pact for Skills, Integrated Action for Green Jobs and Skills. The EU-Ghana Pact for Skills program is a Team Europe action, co-funded by the EU and Germany, and the program is a product of a long engagement with the government of Ghana and all the other partners involved in this action, and I'm glad this project is about to be launched today. Ghana has a young population, and the economy is known for its abundance in resources, innovation and entrepreneurship. Although economic growth is recovering, many challenges still lie ahead, and Dr. Fala earlier alluded to some of these. Against this backdrop, we believe there is strong need for large investments in ensuring that Ghana's TVET system is ready to accommodate the needs of its youthful population and the changing labor market, and at the same time be ready to respond to the changes brought about by climate change. Skills and employment are key elements of the Global Gateway Strategy and its Africa-Europe investment package, which underlines the EU's ambition to expand skills development opportunities to meet emerging needs for Africa's economic and social transformation. Our partnership with Ghana on skills development, employment creation, and migration management are central themes of our joint programming, which includes a priority area on green growth and jobs and on good governance and security. This aligns well with Ghana's long-term national development plan and its focus on education, skills development, and employment creation. Now let me tell you a few words about the actual EU-Ghana Pact for Skills. And this program embodies the excellent partnership between Ghana and Team Europe on strengthening skills development, employment opportunities, and labor mobility. It addresses the mismatch between skills development and the need of the labor market by ensuring close collaboration between the private sector and the TVET system, and making sure youth have employment opportunities in green and digital sectors. This EU-Ghana partnership builds on the accomplishments made by the government of Ghana when it comes to skills development. In recent years, TVET has become free for students, and as a result, we have seen the enrollment in TVET institutions increase rapidly. This increase in enrollment means that there is an increased interest in TVET among Ghanaian youth. This should be seen as a great opportunity to scale up support to this critical sector and contribute to creating more green and digital decent jobs. The Pact for Skills program is meant to do just that. It is therefore a pleasure to collaborate with all the actors involved in this project, which forms an important part of the EU-Ghana Pact for Skills program and aims to contribute to Ghana's transformation to a smart, green, digitally based economy that will provide decent work for all. We are glad of our partnership with ILO and the government of Ghana on this initiative, which is a critical component of the EU-Ghana Pact for Skills program, as it strives to ensure policy coherence and facilitate capacity development at national level, but also supports job creation in different regions of Ghana by enhancing skills development for two priority occupations that will contribute to the green and digital transition. These type of activities are important because climate change will bring about changes that require us to adapt already now, while the digital economy will provide new opportunities both in terms of job creation and climate change adaptation. Just as it outlined in the Ghana's Green Job Strategy 2021-25, by investing in green and digital skills in Ghana, we can work together to make sure Ghana and its youth are better equipped to handle climate change and find decent and sustainable jobs. In conclusion, let me say that I'm sure the EU-Ghana Pact for Skills program and the Integrated Action for Green Jobs and Skills, which we launched today, will achieve this goal, and we are keen to work closely with the ILO and the government of Ghana to make sure this happens. Thank you for the opportunity to give these opening remarks, and I wish you great success in the implementation of this project. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And at this juncture, we will hear from the TUC, and its Secretary General, Mr. Joshua Ansah, is here with us, and he will do the honors. Let's welcome him with a warm round of applause.
Distinguished sisters and brothers present, leadership of International Labour Organization, and I acknowledge the presence of Dr. Vanas, the ILO Director for Nigeria, Ghana, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and liaison for ECOWAS. representatives from the EU present, representative from the Minister for Employment and Labour Relations, my brother Amwa from the Employers Association, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, everyone. And on behalf of the Trade Union Congress Ghana, it is a great honor to join you this afternoon for the launch of the EU-Ghana Pact for Skills under the implementation of the project titled Integrated Action and Green Jobs and Skills Project. I congratulate the International Labour Organization and the European Union for championing this initiative at a time when the world of work is experiencing unprecedented changes, driven by climate crisis and technological transformation. Such initiatives deserve huge commendation. We at the TUC remain firmly committed to advancing policies and programs that prioritize decent work and social protection, equality and sustainable economic development. As we embark on this journey, it is imperative that we embrace a just transition, a transition that leaves no one, or better still, no worker behind. Green jobs are not just about environmental sustainability. They are also about creating jobs that uphold the dignity of labor, that reduces inequalities and secures a sustainable future for all. Let me also emphasize the role of social dialogue for a successful implementation of this program. We need to ensure that workers' voices are heard and their interests protected. We need to address potential disruptions in traditional sectors by providing pathways for affected workers to transition to new opportunities. As we launch this project, let us remember that the true measure of its success will be its ability to transform lives, and for the TUC, this means empowering workers, particularly the youth, with the skills and opportunities to build fulfilling careers while contributing to Ghana's sustainable development. The TUC stands ready to support the implementation of this project together with the social partners and stakeholders. Together, we can make this project a success and ensure an inclusive transition for workers in Ghana. I thank you for your attention.
And we thank you, Mr. Amsa, for your time today and your commitment on behalf of the TUC. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, another implementing partner we will hear from now. I'd like to invite the Director of Industrial Relations for the Ghana Employers Association, Mr. Joseph Kingsley Amwa.
Good afternoon. The Chief Director, Ministry of Employment, Labour Relations and Pensions, the ILO Country Director for English-speaking West Africa, the Secretary General of TUC, representatives from the European Union, development partners, distinguished guests, our friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. I bring you warm greetings from the Ghana Employers Association. The association deems it an honor and privilege to be part of the launch of the EU-Ghana Pact for Skills, which to us is a comprehensive program that seeks to increase youth employment through reducing the persistent mismatch between the skills offered by our training institutions and providers and the requirements of businesses and enterprises. I wish to commend the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations, the ILO and EU, and everyone here on our joint effort and commitment towards the achievement of sustainable development, green economy, and green enterprises, as well as the creation of green jobs in Ghana through this noble initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, increasingly, the digital platform and green sectors are gradually gaining grounds globally. And the GEA strongly believes that this is one area that we can leverage on to support our youth employability initiatives. This project is therefore a great opportunity for us as a country, since it will help streamline our youth employment and competency-based TVET systems to create a more fruitful future for our teeming youth and value for our businesses. Ghana's National Green Job Strategy must actively reflect on concerted efforts which aims at the promotion of higher productivity, attitudinal change, quality delivery, and relevance, as has already been emphasized. And this, we believe, will galvanize higher improvement in our skill set as required by industry and businesses, and one that is more aligned for greener jobs. Employers are poised to also support the specific call for the promotion of green jobs in Ghana. This is against the backdrop that environmental challenges, as already been stated, such as climate change, resource degradation, and pollution, are impacting adversely on labor market outcomes and the sustainability of enterprises, as well as the well-being of workers and households in the country are at stake. The future we want, as adopted by the UN Conference on Sustainable Development in June 2012, requires that member countries mainstream environmental concerns into all their development spheres as well as policy frameworks. And for Ghana to move on a sustainable development path and to ensure the provision of green jobs, improved skill and digital platform, we believe that we believe must be placed on developing green enterprises. That is, enterprises whose products reduce negative environmental impact and lead to environmentally, economically, and socially sustainable jobs. There will therefore be the need to design policies that will promote green financing methods to motivate firms to adopt green production techniques. As stakeholders, we must continue to work together through the provision of labor market data for analysis of the labor market and effective policy making. And this will require sustaining and strengthening our social dialogue mechanism to continually bring stakeholders together to dialogue on social, economic, and environmental issues for inclusive decision-making and development. On behalf of the leadership of the Ghana Employers Association, let me once again thank the government of Ghana through the Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations, the ILO and EU, for the honor to participate in the launch of this initiative and also be part of the steering committee of this project. Thank you very much.
And thank you once again, Mr. Amoah. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, our keynote address is next, and the gentleman who will be joining us on stage has been here throughout the day, as many of you have been, representing the Minister of Employment and Labor Relations, and it's a pleasure to introduce him as he delivers the keynote address. Please welcome, with a warm round of applause, Mr. Kizito Balance, the Chief Director of the Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations.
Yeah. Kokui, thank you so much. Let me borrow Mr. Amoah's term, the Country Director for English-speaking West Africa. Representatives of the European Union delegation, development partners, the Secretary General, Trades Union Congress, the Chief Executive Officer or his representative of the Ghana Employers Association, heads of ministries, departments, and agencies, other social partners, invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and our friends from the press. You know, obviously my minister is not here. I think that's very obvious. But anybody who knows him will also know that he would not have missed this meeting for anything. So the fact that he's not here means that it is not his wish, just as circumstances have compelled him not to be here. But we've come, a very strong delegation. I have a number of colleagues there to make sure that we represent him. I'm honored to be in your company for the launch of the EU-Ghana Pact for Skills, Integrated Action on Green Jobs and Skills Project. Today marks a significant milestone in the journey towards promoting green jobs and skills development in Ghana. We are no doubt aware that Ghana signed the Paris Agreement on Climate Change aimed at increasing climate resilience in 2016. As a sequel to that, government demonstrated its commitment by developing and implementing the Nationally Determined Contributions, NDCs, aimed at reducing emissions and the impact of climate change on the environment and livelihoods. It was later realized, however, that despite the good intentions, the response measures sometimes have some negative effects on the labor market. Since 2017, therefore, there have been a series of calls from stakeholders to ensure that there's a smooth transition from the brown to a green economy. The major concern was for government to institute measures that would maximize the positive impacts and minimize the negatives. This was particularly important considering the emerging shift in Ghana's economic development towards the promotion of green economic activities. Ladies and gentlemen, research by the ILO has also revealed that the emerging green economy holds enormous potential for job creation if the right measures are put in place. It was in the light of this that the ministry partnered the ILO to develop the National Green Jobs Strategy 2021 to 2025. The research revealed that we can only maximize the job creation potential of the emerging green and circular economy through skills development in the value chain. It is in view of this that component 2 of the strategy focuses on green jobs, green skills development. Without the skills, it will be difficult to take advantage of the opportunities created by green technologies and innovations. After development of the strategy, funding became a major challenge for implementation. It is as a result of this that today we are happy to collaborate with the ILO and the EU to kickstart implementation of a project dubbed Integrated Action on Green Jobs and Skills Project, which aims at boosting decent employment for all with a special focus on digital and green sectors in Ghana. Distinguished invited guests, the ministry will continue to play its role in ensuring that green job interventions are effectively coordinated and harmonized to support green enterprise development and job creation in sectors that hold a lot of potential for the generation of decent job opportunities. These include renewable energy, agriculture, waste management, recycling, construction, as well as eco and nature-based tourism sectors. The project will enhance the policy coordination and capacity development role of the Ministry on green jobs. Permit me, therefore, to at this juncture commend the ILO and EU for their partnership with the ministry to facilitate a transition to an economy which generates decent jobs through expansion of green and digital opportunities. This intervention is an entry point for addressing the skills gaps needed to advance the creation of green jobs in Ghana. The project also seeks to strengthen technical and vocational education training, education systems, to promote sustainable development that equips workers with skills for green and digital economy. For us, this initiative is crucial for unlocking the potentials of green economy and the creation of decent jobs for Ghanaians. The International Labour Organization and the EU, therefore, deserve commendation for their unwavering support. Your partnership has been instrumental in making this project a reality. As we launch the project, therefore, I urge all stakeholders to work together towards achieving its objectives. Let us harness the potential of the green economy to create a sustainable future for Ghana. I thank you all for your attention.
I'm going to ask for help moving the podium off the stage. At this juncture, we'll have a photograph on stage with our dignitaries. So, Dr. Pala, if you would please mount the stage. Sorry, Mr. Balance, we should have just asked you to stay on the stage there. And the other representatives as well from TUC, the EU. So if we could all please mount the stage while we prepare for the presentation. Yes, please. We'll have photographs. If our photographers could be on standby. A bit more estrogen on stage, please, if you would please. I'll help you. Come. That's right. Let's balance it up.
Mwanga wa mwezi wa dhahabu unanielekeza njia, amani inatiririka moyoni, ndoto zinapata uzima, upepo wa asubuhi kama kunguru hewani, tunacheza na kuimba, milima na mabonde, mfalme wa usiku, roho yangu.
Retake your seats. Before we go into the presentation on the overview of the project, we'll have an artistic break, a dance break. Don't worry, you're not the ones who will do the dancing. The professionals are here, although that would be interesting to see. But let's give a warm round of applause to Ebibi Groma Cultural Troupe. if I could please have the very strong gentleman here again. We just need to adjust the podium. We're not putting it back on stage, but I just need an adjustment and the microphone as we prepare for our presentation on the overview of the EU-Ghana Pact for Skills. All right. As they adjust that, I'll invite Dr. Lloyd Chabala Ngo, who is the CTA and Project Manager. He's going to lead us in this presentation. Please welcome him with a round of applause.
Yes, right. Good afternoon, and thanks a lot for the dance. I'll ride on the protocols observed already, including the English West Africa. Yeah. So, like indicated, my name is Lloyd Ngo. I'm the project manager for the Skills Pact project, the component being implemented by the ILO. I won't take much of your time. Probably most of the things have been said by the six speakers, but we'll just briefly look at the project overview and also look at the strategic frameworks that the project is speaking to ensure that we are not implementing this project in isolation. Then we'll look at the objectives and probably the outcomes. So in a nutshell, the EU Pact project is, in terms of geographical scope, it's being implemented in the Greater Accra region. It's being implemented in the Greater Accra region, but of course we are going to choose other areas within Ghana, especially those that are prone to migration, and we'll talk about that later. So it's a 4-year project which started in April this year and will run up to March 2028, with funding coming from the EU delegation. The key stakeholders in this project, not to mention only the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations, but also other key ministries like the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Energy, and other associated institutions like CTEVET, of course the employers as well as the employees. Then the main focus of the project is decent employment for all, with a special focus on digital and the green sectors in Ghana to ensure that this is boosted in a more systematic manner. The total budget of the project is 3.7 million euros. So in terms of strategic framework, like I indicated, we don't want this project to be implemented in isolation. So at global level, the project is speaking to several SDGs. I think Director Dr. Pella mentioned that. We are contributing to SDG 4, which is on quality education, SDG 5, which is on gender, to ensure that there is inclusivity, especially on the gender, on the female and the young people. Then also we are contributing to our main SDG, which is SDG 8 on decent work and economic growth, but ultimately SDG 13, which is on climate action. In partnership with the government of Ghana, we have a framework that we work with at the UN, which is the United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework. And under that framework, we are contributing to outcome number 1, which is on inclusive and sustainable economic growth and transformation. Then equally, on our side as the ILO, we've got what guides us, which is the program and budget, and we are contributing to those 2 outcomes, 3 and 8. Then at national level, we are contributing to the Green Job Strategy, which I think has been highlighted by the Chief Director as a document that was supported by the ILO. But equally, on the education front, we are also supporting the Education Strategic Plan, which will run from 2018 to 2030. Then also the education sector medium-term development plan and the TEVET transformation strategy of 2023 to 2027. But also at program level, country program, we are also contributing to Ghana country program on employment creation and mainstreaming into national development frameworks. So the project, the EU Pact project, is a bigger program that is being implemented, and our component, I'll go through, I think my colleague from the EU mentioned more in detail, that this is a bigger program and our project is just contributing to that part of it. So there are 4 main outcomes under the bigger program. The first one is enhanced sustainable financing of TEVET and policy cohesion across skills development programs and environmental policy. I think the previous speakers, I think, talked a lot about policy coherence in their speeches, and we want to ensure that we are doing this in a very more systematic manner. The project that was being launched in the morning, I think they also touched this part. It's not only peculiar to Ghana that ministries tend to implement things in silos, but we want to break those silos so that we have a coordinated way of enhancing these so that we are speaking to other ministries. I'll give an example. The Ministry of Energy is looking at the renewable energy strategy, but we are not so sure what jobs are going to come out of that. But working with the Ministry of Employment and with the Ministry of Employment, I think we can streamline and ensure that we are capturing those potentials that sit with other ministries. Then the second outcome is increased relevance and availability of competence-based training. I think this also was highlighted by the speakers, that we tend to have a mismatch for the skills that are coming from the TVET institutions and what the industry needs. So we need to ensure that this is speaking to that, the skills that we are churning out of our TVET institutions are speaking to the needs of the industry. Then there is the third outcome, which is better transition of students in tertiary education, and this component is being implemented by our colleagues. Maybe let me mention that two other agencies, that is GIZ and as well as UNCDF, are implementing some of these outputs. As the ILO, under the Integrated Action for Green Jobs and Skills, we are focusing mostly on outcome number 1 and number 2. And these are the key outputs that are coming from those two outcomes. So the first key output for our project is increased institutional capacity and coordination to ensure integrated measures to promote green jobs with gender and human rights-based approach. So this, I think, I've talked about in terms of policy cohesion, coordination, and we'll try to ensure that we do that in a more coordinated manner. Then the second output is enhanced capacities of national stakeholders to address skills gaps and design and implement skills strategies for green and digital economy with a gender and human rights-based approach. So this will ensure that we are building capacity to anticipate the skills that are coming for the future. It is a challenge to anticipate the skills that are coming in the future, but with that capacity, I think it will help us to even guide the curricula that we develop for our TVET institutions. Then output 3 is increased number of demand-oriented competence-based training offered in selected future-oriented sectors in selected regions, notably for those that are prone to migration. So under this one, we are going to select 2 sectors that we are going to work on, and also come and choose some of these curricula which we are going to support in these future-oriented sectors. So under each outcome, we have got several key outputs, and some of them are just activities, and I won't go into all of them, but just to highlight that we will support the strengthening of capacity of our stakeholders on green job strategy in areas such as tools for market labor information collection, analysis, green and secular technology market implication. We will also support the establishment of green jobs monitoring and evaluation mechanism so that we are able to monitor the green jobs as we transition to a greener economy. Then we are also going to look at green jobs consideration to ensure that they are mainstreamed in public policy and planning across government, both at national and at local level. Then one other key output under this output 1 is the strengthening of capacity of our social partners so that they are able to participate in policy discussion with government on green and digital jobs to enhance social dialogue as a process to transition. Under output 2, we've got about 3 sub-outputs. This is to strengthen capacity of national and sectoral skills and lifelong learning stakeholders on green and digital issues. And also, there is a need to have skills diagnostics and skill strategies in targeted sectors to be developed. So this, like I indicated, I think these are sectors we are yet to select, and we'll be doing that very shortly in November. Then output 3, it's increased number of demand-oriented competence-based training offered in selected future-oriented sectors. Like I indicated, these sectors are areas that are prone to migration so that these jobs that we are trying to create as we transition can be based in those areas so that the young people can have access to those opportunities. So under this key output, we'll look at the occupational standards and curricula for selected priority areas. And we are not just choosing areas from without. We are looking at those in the ambitions of Ghana, especially when we look at nationally determined contributions as committed under the Paris Agreement. So some of these sectors will come and choose them from there. But of course, we'll also look at our methodology as the ILO, which will guide us in terms of selection. Then we'll look at increased access to existing future-oriented competence-based program for green and digital through training of trainers. We will need to ensure that the trainers who training our young people in the future technologies are also competent enough to do the training. Then we'll also try to expand development and implementation of new modes of delivery for TVET, which include digital tools such as online learning and blended learning. So those are some of the highlights of our key outputs. Then let me look at now the institutional framework, how this project is going to be managed. We've got two key coordination groups that will guide us. The first one is the program coordination group. This is the group that will manage the project at program level. So which means we'll need to liaise with GIZ and UNFCD at this level. And the main purpose of this coordination group is information sharing between all relevant stakeholders. Like Director mentioned, that synergy will be important so that we're not duplicating effort and ensure that we are working together to ensure that we are utilizing the resources effectively. Then also ensure harmonized implementation of action. Then we have the project steering committee, which was constituted on the 5th of November, whose overall objective will be to provide strategic guidance to the project and also advise on key issues. Like Vanessa mentioned, that the success or the failures of the project will be lumped on that steering committee. But the great things that the project will do will be on us. So this steering committee has been constituted already, and most members who are here are part of this steering committee. Then maybe just to highlight just a few things that we've been doing. We are still in our inception phase. That means we are still working towards consolidating what activities and how we are going to implement them. So the recruitment of staff has been completed. The constitution of the PSC has already been done, like I indicated. Then we are looking at having an inception stakeholders meeting where we are going to look at the key activities of the project and how we are going to implement them. This will also look at the indicators of the project and the targets that have been set to ensure that the things that were perceived at design stage are still relevant to the project as being implemented. Then we'll conduct a mapping of industries and interventions in various sectors at both national and local level and develop a database of existing green industries and interventions. Like I indicated, we'll select 2 priority sectors based on the NDCs and the impact they have on employment, as well as using other criteria, like I mentioned, such as the methodology from the ILO. We will also select, during this same stakeholders consultation, we are going to select 2 key priority occupations that we are going to work on. I think you agree with me that the occupations are so many, and within the framework of the project, we can't be able to address all of them. But we ensure that whatever we do or how we implement it, at least it will be scalable and with something that we can replicate in other occupations. So this will be done with other stakeholders, including policymakers, sector skills body, and other activity institutions. I also mentioned that we'll select 2 regions that we are going to work on as a project, and this will be done before the end of November. So looking into 2025, I think what will be key for us will be to convene a national dialogue on green job strategy so that we can discuss areas such as skills and tools for labor market. Then we'll also support the establishment of the green jobs monitoring team. We'll conduct research to identify opportunities for enhancing environmental and gender equity and decent work elements in public employment. Then we'll also organize a public-private dialogue on environment, decent work, and gender equity in promoting green jobs. Social dialogue will also be one of the things that we'll promote on green job policy in collaboration with a tripartite. Like I indicated earlier, we'll also focus on building capacity for our trade unions and employers to monitor green jobs. Then we'll also develop green jobs policy briefs for the trade union and employer organization to organize green jobs advocacy meetings, workshops, and events based on those policy briefs. We will do a capacity assessment of our CTEVET and TEVET institutions to ensure that we identify the gaps that we should be addressing, and this will guide us on what areas of intervention we are going to look at in the TEVET sector. And we'll also support our stakeholders to apply skills anticipation and other tools to identify skills demand and supply constraints. Like I think I mentioned that we need to have the skills to anticipate the changes in the skill, especially that technology is fast changing right now. We need to be able to have those skills, and to ensure that our stakeholders acquire that knowledge. With that, I think I can end here, and thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ngo. I think this podium will go back in a little bit, unless Mr. Mensah would like to give his remarks from here. So we're going to the TVET service now. Obviously, we know we can't talk about skills training in Ghana without talking about the TVET service. So Mr. David Mensah, if you're ready, he's the Chief Technical Advisor with the Ghana TVET service. We'll take his remarks quickly. Let's give him a round of applause.
Advisor, representing Mr. David Pra, who is the Director General of Ghana TVS Service. So I'm reading the speech as prepared for him. My job is so simple here. The representative of the Minister for Employment and Labor Relations, my brother Kizito Balance, distinguished representative of the European Union, esteemed ILO country director, Secretary General of the TUC, Executive Director of the Ghana Employers Association, development partners, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, not forgotten. It's my distinct honor to represent the Ghana TVET service and also to address this momentous launch of the EU-Ghana Pact for Skills Integrated Action on Green Jobs and Skills project. This groundbreaking initiative represents a pivotal moment in Ghana's journey towards a sustainable and skilled workforce. The timing of this project could not be more crucial as we navigate the convergence of technological advancement and environmental sustainability. The need for a workforce equipped with green and digital skills has become increasingly imperative. This 48-month program, spanning from 2024 to 2028, aligns perfectly with our national vision for transformation. Secondly, the project's focus on competency-based TVET programs responds directly to our labor market evolving needs. This approach ensures that our training institutions aren't just producing graduates, but creating innovators and problem solvers ready for the green economy. Thirdly, the collaborative nature of this initiative, thus bringing together the EU, ILO, and Ghanaian institutions, demonstrates the power of international partnership in achieving national development goals. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not just another project. This project represents a strategic alignment of our national priorities with international best practices. The collaboration between the EU, ILO, and the Ghanaian institutions demonstrates the power of partnership in addressing global challenges at the local level. So we are thinking globally, but acting locally. This project aligns seamlessly with our education strategic plan and the strategic plan for TVET transformation. It represents more than just a training initiative. It's a catalyst for economic transformation, environmental sustainability, and social progress. To our partners from the EU and ILO, your commitment to this cause reinforces our shared vision for a sustainable future. To our local stakeholders, from ministries to the private sector partners, your role in implementing this initiative will be crucial to its success. As we launch this project today, let us remember that we are not just investing in skills, we are investing in Ghana's future. We are creating pathways for our youth to participate in the global green economy while contributing to our national development. Let me conclude by reaffirming Ghana TV Service's unwavering commitment to this initiative. We stand ready to work with all stakeholders to ensure its success, and we look forward to the transformative impact it will have on our workforce and the economy as a whole. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to our collective success as we embark on this exciting journey. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Mr. Mensah. The last podium shift, I promise. It's coming down again. We'll have the outdooring of the project. But before that, more dancing. Okay, that'll be a nice way to usher us in to the latter part of the program. So we welcome once again the wonderfully talented ABB Groma Cultural Troupe. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you very much to Ebebe Gruma Cultural Troupe for providing us with wonderful entertainment throughout today's activities. And at this point in the program, it's time for us to officially outdoor the steering committee. Dr. Pala, time for you to remount the stage, Mr. Balance. I'm sure we all know the routine now. Our key stakeholders here, the steering committee members. So we'll ask for the TUC. Yes, because we'll need you after this. We'll do the outdooring. It'll be a whole thing, and then we wouldn't leave it because we need to have the screen clear. Yeah, so we can leave it there for now. Okay. If we have representatives from the Director General of CTVET was supposed to be here. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it, but I understand there's a representative here. If you could please also join us on stage, Mr. Mensah as well, TVET service. If you would please join us on stage. Of course, the European Union. Anders, Mr. Yes, please. Mr. Dolan, yes, please join us. TUC, GEA. Oh, okay. All right.
On that note, and supported by the fireworks, we just launched the EU-Ghana Pact for Skills project. Thank you so much for being here, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a great honor. Let me also take this opportunity to really appreciate my colleagues from the International Labour Organization that have been here since morning to launch the projects and this particular project. So colleagues, your efforts are appreciated, and keep doing the good work. And to each and every one of you that has been joining us today, thank you for your collaboration, thank you for your partnership, and thank you for sitting patiently as we launch the project. Thank you, and have a great day. Thank you, colleagues.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this brings our occasion to a close. And it's been a pleasure. Yes, very short. We started early. We've ended. This is first in history, I think, in Ghana. Let's give ourselves a round of applause for a very efficient program. Mission accomplished. Well done to Team ILO, Team EU, Team Ministry of Education. Thank you so much. Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations. and all stakeholders and all steering committee members. We appreciate you. Have a fantastic afternoon.